what makes this a successful album is tough for me to gauge because, like, we're gonna get to what we want the album to be, and you guys kind of alluded to yours, and I'll save it for how I want this album to go because I have very specific, roadmap in my head. But for me, in terms of making a successful album for Drake, it's gonna be really hard for him to do that in my opinion. Not saying that I don't think the album will be great, but I think that he has such a diverse fan base and he reaches so many pockets. The same reason I kill him is the same reason he's Drake, right? The reasons of you've done too many tracks, you have too wide of a fan base to cover. I'd rather you just give us 16 concise, don't give me the songs that I find filler. However, other people in other genres and other realms, those are their number one, number two, number three record. So I don't know how a successful album looks for Drake. Also, I know the context of everything going on. He is at war with his label right now. Mm-hmm. And, it's Drake. It's still going to do ridiculous numbers. It's still going to do unheard of numbers. But at the same time, I'm also going to know in the back of my head, these numbers should probably be bigger. But, there's some politicking going on industry-wise.
But if you pull out some Taylor Swift numbers, should they be bigger still?
Absolutely. I think regardless of what happens, UMG is going to undermarket this album intentionally. Because I think that what is going on up at that top there, from my outside view, is past business and it's personal. And I think that when you have that amount of money, wealth, and power, you can play those games out. So for me, I think that Drake's numbers are going to be downplayed no matter what it is, no matter how big the numbers are. And the tricky part with that is, all I'm trying to say is that Drake has always been the numbers guy. And so that's what he's prided himself on. One of my favorite lines on Is There More? He's like, I love my peers. They're a talented group. You round them all up and add up all their numbers and carry the two. It still doesn't come close to me or something. And some shit like that.
I disagree with you on that because I do think that UMG is almost going to want to flex on the fact that, no matter how much you put up, all the promotion you do, and we're going to help you promote because we still taking a big cut of that.
Possibly.
I think they're going to want to flex on that portion of it more than they're going to want to see him have a, a future first week, not future, sorry. Young Thug first week sale where it was very disappointing. They're going, he's going to do numbers regardless. He's going to be the number one album. He's going to do Taylor Swift numbers and they're going to push it because they're going to look at that like, yo, remember you lining our checkbook too.
Yeah, they're not going to cut off their nose to spite their face on this one. It's about the money for them at the end of the day.
But when you got FU money, blow it all away money, I could see them, do I said it.
They care about their money. That's
I said it.
Dollar. I mean, that's their bottom line anyway.
I said it when What Did I Miss didn't hit one. I thought that was okay, that was a little bit of a, I could see why it didn't. I could see why it didn't because in my opinion it wasn't the greatest song. There was a strong number one at that time that was surging very well, but at the same time, I seen Search and Rescue debut. Was that number one or was that top 5? That was something ridiculous. That song sucks.
You talking about a time was easier to undermine Drake when it's literally a hate train going on for Drake. If I'm the label, I'm gonna try and play on that too.
Exactly.
Just to see that, he don't make it to even see, the light of day, but it's Drake, so it's gonna happen anyways. But I think the label's seeing right now, I don't know whether
they can't really block it.
You know what I'm saying? There's only so much they can do for artists like Drake. Bro, his name out there, that shit ring bells. So it's whatever he gonna do, that shit gonna make noise. And
you saw the promotion. Yeah. You saw how many people came out for the promotion itself on this random installation. They know he gonna do numbers. They're letting him handle some of the marketing, which again, they were perfectly happy sitting back and lining the pockets on those songs that weren't strong, that did numbers. It was kind of a sign of yo, you still need us. Don't pretend like you don't need us to help you out too. Yeah. That's the chance for them to take those swipes, not when album time comes, because artists don't make money off these albums. Yeah. Labels make money off these albums.
That's a great point.
I don't think. That's also, they got I think the Michael Jackson shit too with that record. They kind of holding on to that too. I think with the number one shit, but I don't think the label can't really. What's about to happen with Drake, bro? They can't really do shit about it. Like, it's over. Mm-hmm. I feel like if he dropped the sculpture or the ice sculpture in the 50 states, you would have had
in 50 states.
You would have had you would have had every place.
I don't. The Drake hate whatever the label may hate him, whatever the case is. He's about to drop the craziest album of the year. Craziest rollout probably. He's going on.
He can announce the tour dates right now, and those bitches will sell out.
Just like with Ye, like before he like started going way off, but like he even when he started saying some crazy shit back in the day, like he'll come back and like like your people still.
No, Ye can still sell out
like, when you got that
in LA
audience. Like some shit like it's only so much a label can do. You know what I'm saying?
And to make it clear, like if I didn't earlier in my statement, like I do think that it's going to be like big numbers and everything like that. I'm just going to, in my brain, I'm gonna, conspiracy it a little bit, like on this album. So it's hard for me to judge what makes it a success. Now, what I think makes it other than like personal preference and like if I believe the music is good, because that's to me the most important thing. I don't care about the sales as much, but it's different with Drake.
You're not academics?
Drake, no, I'm not. But failure, though, to me is very clear. Failure to me is if this is a double album. Failure to me is if he overblows this, if he does the things that I have personally said about him, where it's like my knock with Drake has always been that even the songs I don't like, they're fine. Like outside of a few of them, they're listenable. They're like he doesn't make objectively bad songs outside of like a very small group of songs, but I hate filler on an album. I love an album where I can just throw it on shuffle, rock with it, or listen to it top to bottom in the order it was intended, and I don't have to do too much skipping. Maybe there's times when I'm in mood for some records more than another, cool, but for the most part, I like an album that I can be outside to, chill to, things like that.
It's what I call the vinyl test.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
As someone who has, we have the vinyls here, to me, an album is good when I can buy it on vinyl, and even the tracks I don't necessarily love, when you have a vinyl player, you aren't picking up the needle and dropping it down at all these different times. You letting it play. So if it passes the vinyl test, even the bad stuff can still be played. Or not, I shouldn't say bad stuff, but the filler stuff can still be played and not ruin your experience.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with this. I just like, to me, it's a filler, and I think the obvious part of it. So why I said it's hard to define a success for me, I think it's kind of easy to define a failure is if those numbers are like substantially low, because again, I've already blocked in my brain that there is some type of game happening. Like whatever his numbers are, I'm gonna assume they're below what they should be, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Like we said, I think you guys made some great points there. But I'm gonna conspiracy brain it that they're trying to undermine Drake. And with me, if this album isn't number one for more than 3 or 4 weeks, like unless there's a strong album coming that we don't know about right now because we don't. Then I think that's a sign. That's a sign. I think if you don't spawn multiple top 5s and maybe like even 2 number 1s on this album, I think that's something that you can point to and you can look at. But again, I'm gonna filter it in my brain with something going on. So it'd have to be substantially low. It'd have to be like only a couple songs in the top 10 for more than a week, or like this is like it would have to be substantial for me to define failure.
It would basically have to fall out of
like just
consciousness.
complete flop.
Yeah, like in 2 weeks afterward, if we aren't still talking about it.
Yeah. It would have to be one of those albums to me, which I don't think it's going to come close to it, but that, in my opinion, is what a failure for Drake would look like. Does anybody kind of disagree with any parts of that?
No, I think realistically, numbers-wise, I don't expect it. The first week is going to do number 1.
Yeah.
Again, we know we aren't comparing him, but he's like in the Taylor Swift situation. Her last album, that Showgirl, whatever, people kind of clowned it, even her own fans, but that was still a number 1 album for like 7 weeks in a row because it's Taylor Swift. Drake gonna be number 1. He better be number 1 for at least a handful of weeks because he's Drake. Like, that's the expectation. It would be a failure if that hits number 1 and then it falls off, kind of again like that Young Thug album where I think it topped off at number 6. then it fell to 13, then it was out of the top 25, and those aren't good numbers. That's definitely a failure in his book. Drake wants to control the conversation of the culture for these next couple of weeks.
And he absolutely will, because we're not talking much else other than Drake unless something happens. Like, we're going to be talking Drake for like 5
Unless someone decides to go at his neck right afterward.
We'll wait for that. We'll wait for that. But did you have anything to add when it comes to like the failure part of it, of what kind of would be a failure?
Just rap, bro. Like, just rap. You ain't got to make the dance hall. We already got one dance still get played, bro. Like, he can. So you think it would be a failure for him to? Because I think that's a great point. You think it'd be a failure for him to do kind of like the pop in the R&B and lean away from the rap? Like, if you example, right? You give me like some Over My Dead Body, Shot For Me type of R&B, cool. You give me some rapping, you know, like how he had on Scorpion. It was a couple rap songs that he was tweaking the fuck out on. Absolutely. Like club, like nonstop. Yeah. That shit still get played in the club. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I don't want to hear no crazy ass accents with the little 2-step running out. That's cool, bro. Just rap. Like just rap, sing a little bit.
If you thought that joint was him the central on there, though, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm cool with that.